got the juice.
Still got the juice. Jacina, love. We're here with D.Chamberz, Brooklyn's own Coney Island in the building.
That's a fact.
I love Brooklyn.
Oh, it's a good thing. You know,
I mean, we're New York,
it's
you
good
know?
to think that it feels good to be from Brooklyn.
It feels good to be from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yo, D, you've been doing this for so long. You've been in the game, tapping in so many different aspects. I want you to touch on the fact that what motivates you is the people. Let's start with that.
It's the whole thought process of never giving up, staying motivated, having that warrior mentality. A lot of people, when they sit here, I'm from Coney Island, they just think of the Warriors or like the movie or, outside. Nowadays, it's a lot of things people can resonate with Coney Island for ball playing, the artists. A lot of the artists are breaking through, making noise, creating an impact. But it's that whole thought of not giving up. Now, a lot of people have 9-to-5s because they need to do it to pay the bills. But when you learn how to do what you love and pay bills, you will want to do it more. So when you create your mindset to be like, oh, I'm locked in and I'm the brand, and I'm showing other people that you're the brand. Not everybody has to be a rapper. Some dudes could be event coordinators. Some people could be road managers. Some people could be head of marketing. And when people find their niche, you can actually live off what you love doing. And that's the, the energy that keeps me going, because, when you're independent, you're proof of it. You're the same thing. You may not be rich, but you will get there. When you make greater negotiations, you invest in yourself. That's what keeps me going. And every day I try to invest in myself.
Wow, it's super powerful. Now, in a game that we're in right now, right? In a few years, trends coming in and out. But when it comes to your rap, your sound, what's the focus?
The good thing about me is I just put out a project, boom bap to drill rap.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So on that project, it has Method Man, Benny the Butcher, and one of the young artists I'm working with from Coney Island, T.O.G. Killer. So when I'm doing a lot of these showcases, underground concerts, and I'm throwing them with Trapezoid, and I get Drewski, and I get these guys, from Magic to Will, and I got these guys locked in with me, I hear the sound. I study radio. When I go to concerts, and then you wondering why this guy's on stage and this person has this amount, you gotta understand the sound and where it's going. You can stay true to yourself, but you have to know the sound. So with me, it's unorthodox. That's why, I could also be a great songwriter as well. I'm from the era of studying music.
That's right.
A lot of people hear sounds and emulate sounds. I study music, so I know where the sound is at. Like, give you a hip hop sound, if you get a drill sound, but I ain't gonna be kicking and dancing. I'll probably let my young homies do that. You know what I mean?
So we're not gonna see you kicking and dancing.
I bust a few moves, get a little, I don't know about all the, all the other stuff on the basketball court is a different thing. I'm active there. Mm-hmm. But some things you do have to let the young artists just do. That's just my opinion. That you gotta cherish it, let the artists know what you're known for. So when you're known for you spit that fly New York, when you mogul talk, traveling, getting money, you could be that hustler that just want more out of life. You don't have to kill everybody, but if that's how you feel at the moment, yeah, cool. But don't live like that. Everybody wants the lavish life. So why not figure out how to create businesses off your music, what you love doing, and and make that be the message in your song. Because that's why a lot of artists hit dead ends, because there was never no message. It was just the sound at the moment. And then after 3-4 songs, somebody else comes out, it's easy to forget it. They were tired of it already.
So true. You said something about basketball.
Right.
And I know you're out
there
for the youth.
Coney Island, yeah. Coney Island.
So when it comes to basketball, the youth, you're doing a lot out there for the youth and implementing the basketball. I want to hear about this. I'm a teacher and I take this
for one
right here in East New York teaching these
Shout out to everybody at East New York doing their thing. When it comes to Coney Island, some people may know it for rides, but it's mainly known for the NBA ball players that came out of there. That's Stephon Marbury, Sebastian Telfair, Lance Stevenson, Isaiah Whitehead, Norman Richardson, Jamal 530, and the list just keeps going on. And there's a lot of prospects that's going on. But I'm from a neighborhood in Neptune 36 C-Rise in front of 2750 for almost 5 to 9 years. There hasn't been no court in front of the building I was raised in front of. Our building just happened to be private property, so if they just say no, they don't have to fix it. That's their choice. They rather it be a dog park. So one day I came back from Rolling Loud this last year, and when I came back, I went to go check my mom's, and I was just looking out my window and stuff, and I was like, if anybody could put the influence to bring these courts back and figure it out, it'll be me, because there's a lot of people that was in the neighborhood, they just was tied into other things. They thought that would bring the violence back. They just saw dice games, but I tell people got older and now it's their kids that's out there, and it's not fair to them. You know what I mean? So I looked around, I was telling my boys, like, in the barbershop, I was like, yo, we are the OGs. Ain't nobody coming to get us. People will tell us to write these proposals and these things. So I did do something crazy. I wrote like this huge sub on Facebook. I was like, I don't know what nonprofit organizations is doing, but it ain't no profit in it.
We're going to pull some cards here.
And immediately, instead of me just running around and knocking door to door, trying to get petitions, that post had people like, nah, Chambers, that's not how you do it. You speak to this person. Now I'm getting pointed in his direction to make these things happen. And so when we finally got to the owner, we was like, why isn't the court up? He said, yeah, why isn't it? That was because nobody asked.
Wow.
And so that's just the mindset.
Those mouths don't get fed.
Nobody get asked, because a lot of times people see the violence, they don't want to be outside.
Wow.
So I get that part of it. But when I defied the odds, like, I was laughing and joking, but I felt like Joe Clark out there. Like, you know what I mean? Eastside High, like, why would you do that? Put that up. Yo, what we doing? Turn the music down, yo. Nigga, shut it down. Y'all bugging. Like, and it wasn't like I was ever trying to floss on them or nothing. I never wore no jewelry. I would just wear basketball clothes. I would check my moms. I'm with the people. Like, it wasn't even about no cameras. It wasn't about nothing. But it was a beautiful thing that Isaiah Whitehead tournament was still going on, and I still had like a week left after the Isaiah Whitehead tournament was over. Isaiah Whitehead came over to see what we done. And when they saw an NBA player walk on the court, it was like, oh, this is crazy. So I have to give a shout out to Miguel. He has a paint business. He lives in the next building. I have to give a shout out to Jacina, Smoke Gang Mac, my homegirl that does Solid Made clothing. We all I had to speak to people that were still there that I had the communication with. So like in between, like Carol, her son played ball. Like certain people that I knew that their sons played ball in school, I just kept saying it. So I pushed the envelope. I spoke to my manager. I was like, create a schedule so I could have something to present to these owners so they could see, it had to be something where the kids was involved. And I had no problem with that. Now here I am. I'm not known for basketball, but I do play basketball. I'm known for music. But I studied what the other coaches was doing. Like, yo, you do with this is what they do, this is what they do. Get other coaches involved, people that know sports. And it just built. It was designed for the kids from like 10 to like 2, then the older kids would come out and blend by like 2 to 4 and 4. And I created like a whole system to which led to a 3-on-3 tournament for $500.
Wow.
Right.
And I hope whoever's watching this, we are taking notes.
I shout out to everybody. Like I said, all you gotta do is just put the foot forward, because a lot of times people will tell you reasons why it won't work, and then it can be discouraging, and you gotta be ready to be like, damn, I don't got that much, but I'm willing to put this. And then when people see you put towards it, you'll get donations from people you wouldn't even think about. You know what I mean? And you'd be surprised. Like, people was coming with waters, cash, snacks. They started grilling, and then eventually by the championship game, it was just like a whole block party.
That's so beautiful.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And it was just a beautiful thing. You could follow C-Rise B-Ball on Instagram. Shout out to the coaches that was following it. We had a coach from Oakland State that was like tuned in with the tournament with the 3-on-3s, because we would always post the highlights. I would use like everybody that had like cameras, I would immediately chase them down like, yo, I need that footage. I need this guy. But shout out to the red team, we won that. You know what I mean? The red team, we won that. And the beautiful thing about why I'm willing to say that is because these were kids that was in high school going up against grown men and everybody that wanted $500. It was 3-on-3, but I gave people 5 people you could choose, and you got 2 subs. So now it's like, now I'm getting these texts now like, yo, we coming to take that bread. It's going to have to go to 2,000, 3,000.
I'm about to bring my boys up there.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't be surprised.
New York.
It's sauce. It's concrete floor. You know, come with your end game. The nets is there. The courts is there. And I just appreciate everybody that supported that, because I always tell people, they be like, yo, what was your biggest highlight in 2022? I could say Traffic Jam Festival, K Goddess brought me out, the Art Wall. I could name like big stages, being in Rolling Loud in Miami, how it's really different from New York. And I'm like, yo, I'm seeing all these things within a month or two. And then I do the basketball court and I feel more revived and well known from that.
But can I say too, this is the culture.
Right.
The hip hop culture is not just about the rap.
Right.
It's about the streets. It's about what we're living. It's about the ball playing. It's about it. This is the
And
culture
it definitely
that
stopped the
feeds us.
violence. The funniest thing that was said to me, I was riding in the elevator, going to my mom's crib, and the lady said, you know, since you put those courts out here, the packages hasn't been getting stolen in front of the house.
Oh, look at that.
Because everybody's outside now. They know they're not in the hallway.
That's
looking
right. Those packages are not by themselves no more.
They not trying to snatch the package. Now they outside playing courts, and it was a beautiful thing. It was just like, watch it. Even right now, when I go pull up sometimes and I see kids out there, they don't even know like what it for them to do that. But I'm happy that they're, you know, that's just something they're doing.
Wow. Now with the business aspect, because that's a piece of the business,
Right.
but you also got radio shows going on.
Shout out to everybody at No Time for the Small Talk, Ice
For
Chill,
the small talk.
5 Stacks, Soundbite Management, AJ. You know, I work with a lot of different cameramen. I give a lot of people different shots, and I always have random seats with different co-hosts. So I have them switching. Like, shout out to Lotta. She's the most recent one working with us. And like I said, I did that because shout out to Comatose Rose. He was the first guy to like push me, because I always used to just say no time for the small talk. But I was always doing Trappers Only concerts. That came from me and Pedro when we was in the Trap House Strip Club. And before like Enough, these DJs that would really come and shut it down, we created a concert and that just to fill up the club. That's what it was intended for. And then when we see all the talent, then I was like, tired of the strip club shit, let's bring it to some stages. Then I took it to Black Dawn. We made it to SOBs, and I just kept it going. Even during the pandemic, shout out to Soundbite Management, shout out to all the DJs that come out as special guest DJs. And I made sure I added media, so that way when the artists perform, they can also get a radio interview. Come around. So when you get in a radio interview and you performing, you might meet the artist that you would just see on the stage you ain't get a chance to talk to. So it's like, and I don't just cover artists, I cover authors, movie writers. Method Man was just up there, he was talking. I got people from Canada, Philly, Boston, PA, and they all tune in from the show online. Shout out to DTF Radio. But they'll
That's
tell
where
you.
I started.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's been going for like 2-3 years now.
I started in 2007 in BT.
I knew Mark when I was still on the other side of actually being a podcast, because I thought it was funny. I was like, what am I going to talk about? Like, you know what I mean? But I have charisma. I ask questions. You know what I mean? I find stuff out. That's why I ask these artists certain questions like, do you know the producer? Because a lot of people do music and they can't tell you the producer.
That's
like,
right.
Before the producer, what was the engineer?
Yep.
Who was the engineer? Remember the engineer there? Because without the engineer, none of this would have, ain't nothing happening. So that I always ask them, they're publishing. It's like war training before they get to the next one. And you know what? After every interview, they think, like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, nobody asked me those type of questions before. So, I have 2 girls. They tell you their side of the view, and then I might ask you a random question, and Stacks, keep your music in rotation. And we just keep that going.
2023, I mean, I just have to say, from someone who's living in the culture, loving the music, I thank you for tapping in those areas. Because now I get it when we asked you who was your favorite artist and you said me. And we're joking about this, but now I get it.
Like,
let me tell you this.
You know what it is?
Everything you're doing, all the outlets you're putting into.
You got to convince yourself first. So when you so in tune on what you got to get, you can be in tune, you can vibe, you can listen,
That's right.
You know, but you got to be your most favorite artist yourself. That's just my advice. You know what I mean? If you know, some people, you could be inspired by them and they be mad that you was inspired by them. They'll be like, yo, you copy my shit. You be like, you was my favorite artist. You know what I mean? So now it's like when you say
I was
you're
like, actually, it's all a competition.
yeah, I'm my favorite artist
From
too.
the no numbers to the big numbers.
And if you don't like the music, respect the confidence, respect the
Right.
hustle, respect the business moves, respect that, you know, he don't gotta commit crimes to survive. You know what I mean? Especially, you know, if you can somehow survive in this climate, well, like through COVID, through jinky promoters, through the underhanded PRs and A&Rs that's out here. If you can fight through that, you better, when you get there, because sometimes, you know, what I say is when you're a young artist, it's already handheld to you by people that probably suffered those things for years, but they believe in you. So at a young age, you get to be a star. But when you are fighting through this climate independently and you become of age, you'll understand this whole interview and why I said you're going to be your favorite artist, because you're going to understand the business on why things are really designed the way they are, and realize you may got the juice, but they may have the refrigerator. You know? You know what I mean? Like,
Yo!
I'm just saying. You might not even be at the...
Singing the juice.
You might not even be in the, you know, right when you can grab it. You might be at the bottom.
We taking the juice from you.
Yeah. You might be at the bottom and they got to pull the bottom of the refrigerator out. You might be down there.
No, not where the water dripped and you have to...
Nah, but the potatoes and the onions and shit, yeah, you might be next to that. You know what I mean? But, you know, you just got to be confident of yourself. You got to make sure, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people take that framed juice and they probably go to the movie. They think ignorant right away. Some people can take juice and think organic.
Yo, that's the last question.
Yeah.
So when you say still got the juice, give us the definition of that.
Still got the juice, meaning you're alive, fresh and well, look like you can run a couple of miles. You know what I mean? You're still preserving yourself.
You're like D.Chamberz.
Yeah, you know what I mean? No matter.
Correct style.
And knowing you got the juice don't just make you an OG either. You know what I mean? Because how you are honorable, how you carry yourself, you know, and inspire others, you know what I mean? Because everybody's thirsty out here, but, you know what I mean? To have the juice, you got to be able to hold it so you don't run around looking thirsty either. So there's different ways of saying, like, got the juice. So don't just land yourself in prison where all you getting is milk. You know? That peanut water and shit like that. You know what I mean? But you got to make sure you out here so you can live life, so you can drink the best juices and enjoy life. So fruits of your labor, all that fly shit. When you got the juice, you doing bigger and better things. That's the juice for me. You know what I mean?
Yo, if you didn't learn nothing from this interview, D.Chamberz,
yeah.
Thank you.
Shout out 11224 Boys, Takeover Gang, all the good guys out there, WMMG. You know, no time for the small talk. Boom bap, the drill rap out now. You want to find me by the nearest TD, when they TD Bank, when they depositing money. Because I don't, you know, I don't got nowhere else I'm going to go. That I think is important. But you know what I'm saying? There's online banking. There's any ways you want to get money to me and we want to talk about that. You're an investor. You like what I said. Just talk about it. You know what I mean? We all got businesses to handle. And that's how you have the juice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the refrigerator. You know what I mean? Or the refrigerator. You might
just need a love. We still got the juice, not the refrigerator. We out.